Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel The Sarthak Show, where we discuss about tech, career, product and life. And today we have a very special guest with us, 𝐏𝐚𝐲. She's working as a software development engineer at Flipkart. And today we will deep dive into her story. What are the challenges that she faced and how did she came over the hurdles? And what are the learnings that she has acquired as part of being SD2 at Flipkart? What was her story like? And we will know more about this Flipkart journey in depth. So watch till the end of this video. And thank you so much, 𝐏𝐚𝐲, for joining in for this podcast and taking out time for this. Yeah. And can you share by a little bit about yourself and your professional journey?
Sure, Sarthak. So thanks for inviting me, and it feels so wonderful to be here. And yeah, so about my introduction, I'm 𝐏𝐚𝐲 𝐀𝐟𝐭𝐞𝐫. I'm working as SD2 at Flipkart for about 1.5 years. And talking about my education, I've completed BTech in computer science. And apart from this, I have also done mountaineering, and now I'm a certified mountaineer.
Oh,
And apart from this, before Flipkart, I was working in various startups. So startups in the initial phase and startups that are going to become part of a company and becoming company and all. So yeah.
yeah. Interesting journey. And I think even Flipkart is startup because it's not public yet. But
Yeah.
in a way, it's a step up from the previous companies. But the interesting thing I just realized that you are a certified mountaineering. So
Yes.
I would take a little detour and understand like how is it this thing? What's a certified mountaineer?
Yeah, so actually I've completed this mountaineering course
Mhm,
from HMI, that is Himalayan Mountaineering Institute.
mhm.
So there the people from like all over India. So my course was around with the 60 girls, and this mountaineering course involves like sports climbing, trekking,
Mhm.
and trekking with like having 16 kgs of weight on your back.
Oh.
And yeah, we went from 6,000 feet to 14,000 feet.
Mhm.
So that was all 45 kilometers of trekking was there.
Okay.
And then we had glaciers training.
Mhm.
So having such kind of activities, so like that actually motivates you.
Mhm.
Like when I'm like after this break, when I again came back to office and with my work, like I was like fully motivated. So
Mhm.
such small breaks in your day-to-day life that actually helps.
Yeah, I think that is very true. And I have realized that it's so different that you have their own personal life. Like most of the times, you expect the other person is sitting behind a computer and just typing on its keyboard.
Yes.
But to have a physical activity and to be very good at it, because trust me, I'm so shocked to understand like you have done glacier training or rock climbing and everything.
Yeah.
It's just something which people aspire to do, at least imagine to do, or maybe dream to have something like that. So it's so interesting to hear that. But yeah, kudos to you and your team that you did that.
Yeah. Thank you.
And cool. Moving forward, I think coming back to the professional life and
Yeah.
for the audience here, we would like to understand how did your journey started with Flipkart? What was the first step? How did you apply there? Was it like a referral or recruiter reached out to you or something else?
So in my case, recruiter reached out to me, and then the process started. So it was a SD2 drive completely. So 3 rounds were scheduled for the day. One day, like total for SD2, there are 4 rounds.
Hmm.
But in my case, 3 rounds took place on the single day, and fourth round on the next day.
Okay.
So the rounds basically involved like one is machine coding round, second is DSLGO, and third is design round,
Hmm.
fourth is hiring manager round.
Okay.
So all the rounds are like elimination round.
Hmm.
So you need to be good at each round, and then the debriefing will be done for you, and then offer gets rolled out. So like if I'll tell about like what all is expected for from each round.
Yeah,
So
that's
like
the question that I was coming to. Like, what's the?
so uh, talking about like the machine coding round.
Mhm.
So machine coding round is like a sample problem will be given. It's just you have to code that. You just need to show that you have coded this problem, you have solved it, and your code is running.
Mhm.
And on top of it, the interviewer will expect that your code should be scalable. So tomorrow, if another requirement comes in, you
Mhm.
should be with minimal effort, you are able to just code that down. And in fact, the interviewer can give you the problem right away, and we'll give you like 5-10 minutes to code it and show that. And after that, code should be modular. Like they expect, like if it's SD2, then you have done proper design, you have used some design patterns to code that problem. And yeah, this all is expected from machine coding round. Then the DSLGO problem, that comes with practice, so it depends on the interviewer, like in which topic he is or she is experienced at. They'll ask the question. So the my suggestion for DSLGO will be that you need to have a pen and paper to solve, and just like whatever is coming to your mind, how are the way you are approaching it, just share with the interviewer. It just don't sit quiet and just keep on doing something on the pen and paper, because the interviewer doesn't know what you are actually doing. You need to share your thoughts with the interviewer. So that is mainly for DSLGO. Then comes the design round, where it's not a round, basically it's just a discussion, where the interviewer is basically trying to understand your thought process. If some problem is given to you, what's your approach towards it? How will you design that part? Like what all things you will keep in your mind, like API designing, how will you do? And like what conventions you will follow, and like how will you design the tables? What kind of tech stack you are using? So let's suppose if you are using SQL databases, or you are using MongoDB, NoSQL database, how will you choose between these two? If you are trying, how will you scale your system? So if new requirements will come in with less effort, how will you able to scale your system? How will you ensure your system is available most of the time? And how will it handle the traffic?
Right.
So basically caching and all, how will you do this? So they'll just try to understand your approach and the reasons, like if you are trying to use this, like how will this help versus if you would have used that. So it's just a discussion where you need to put your thoughts, and even the interviewer helps you in designing, basically some part of designing, like if you would have used that might help. Also, like in the design round, my suggestion would be to list down, if the interviewer had said that you need to let's develop this part, like let's develop this kind of app, so you need to list down like what all is actually required from this step. So like app can be so big, so you just need to list down like, okay, these 5 functionalities are there, so I'll handle these 5 functionalities. Like if it's Facebook, then like design Facebook. So if Facebook is huge, so you can't discuss the whole Facebook in that 1 hour round. So you just need to list down like, okay, these are the 5 things that I need to handle, like messaging or likes or comments, what all part you will develop. So you need to list that down. So that clarity should be there in the starting 5-10 minutes. And then you can start with the discussion.
Okay.
So this much from the design round, and then comes the hiring manager round. There you should be clear enough that this, whatever you are working on your current project, that you are able to explain that well.
Okay.
So that manager get a gist that, okay, you have only done, it's not the other person, you have to explain, because they are pretty intelligent enough that they'll figure it out that whether you have worked on it or the other person has worked. So you should be thorough, like whatever you are explaining, you are like some proficiency is there in that. So mainly that is expected from the hiring manager round. Is just a discussion that you need to explain your current projects, and he might give you some scenarios in like where he'll understand like how will you deal with such cases. Like maybe in a team, if there is some conflict and all, he'll give some scenario. Then how will be dealing for such scenario is the expectation. So if these 3 rounds are clear, then 4th round is pretty lighter, is what I'll say. And then if this is done, then complete debriefing is there, and then if they'll think that you have met the expectations, then you are selected.
Okay, I think with this rigorous process, you get the final offer letter and everything. Yeah,
Correct.
yeah. So I have little doubts in the understanding of the whole interview. I think since you mentioned that machine coding round, you will be given a problem and you will be asked to solve the and get to a solution that should be working by
Yeah.
nature. And then you mentioned about the DSA round. So what kind of questions can be expected over there? Are they going to be lead code medium or hard? What could be the difficulty level over there?
It will be like medium to hard. So
Okay.
they'll be giving for DS part, they'll be giving like two questions will be asked in that round, or
Mhm.
two or three based on the time that is available.
Okay.
So based on like I can't say like completely sure that first question will be hard or second. It depends on the interviewer,
Mm-hmm.
but the interviewer will be putting questions in such a way that if first question is a bit lighter, then the second question he'll try to judge you based on by giving the hard question to just see your thought process.
Okay.
So yeah, mainly this
Okay.
is how like two or three questions are expected.
Okay. And then you mentioned about the system design round where you will be expected to build a design from ground up.
Yes.
How are you handling the level and what are the expected load and how are
Yeah.
you going to balance that with the load balance and all the other things that are required. Okay. And then last is the hiring manager round where most of the discussion will be around your previous work or projects that you have done. Okay. And after this, all that, then offer letter is rolled out. So how does this whole process take time? Is it going to be in the same day or like does it take a couple of weeks to complete the whole process?
Yeah, it basically depends on the interviewer and interviewee availability.
Okay.
So my took my like there's mine was SD to drive completely. So this drives normally takes place on Saturday on weekdays as well. Mine took place on Saturday. So
Mm-hmm.
on Saturday, mine was three rounds took place on the same day based
Oh.
on my availability. So
Mm-hmm.
it just depends on the availability. If you say that you are not available, then it takes place on the subsequent days or weeks. It might take.
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah, basically depends on the availability of both interview and interview.
Okay. So interestingly, if you have time and everything, then you can complete the rounds and most of the process in single day and be worry free. Or maybe if you can want to expand it among couple of days, I mean the week and everything.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that's the best part, and kudos to you for cracking everything in up. So how does this work? Because in your time when you were going for interviews, like what are the resources that you used to prepare, or what are the something that you relied upon for preparing for the rounds? What kind of differences it comes when you are judged or maybe interviewed for a position like SD2 as compared to SD1?
Hmm. So I prepared like when the recruiter contacted me, I took a full uh, knowledge about the interview process,
Mm-hmm.
all the four rounds, like what all was expected from all the four rounds. And then I started searching for it. Like the main helper was Geeks for Geeks for this purpose,
Mm-hmm.
where I was searching for the old questions that were asked, the question patterns. And DSL go to, I will say that that comes by practice.
Okay.
So try to use lead code or interview bit and try to practice as much questions as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are able to crack the question, then try to minimize the time frame, like you are able to crack them quickly, and how can you optimize them.
Okay.
Optimize approach is also important.
Mm-hmm.
So that is mainly for DSLGO. And for machine coding round, I tried to pick some problems and tried to code myself and within a given time frame. Like all the rounds duration is 1 hour.
Mm-hmm.
So I just tried to practice them, and I used to set like time, like it's within 1 hour I need to have all these functionalities done, and my code should be running.
Okay.
So, and it should be in a proper modular way. It shouldn't be like just coded in a single file. Everything is so clumsy and all. We need to, it should be proper, like separate classes and separate files, proper variable names, proper everything. It
Mm-hmm.
should be like that. Okay, if you are going for SD2, then this is expected. For SD1, it can be a bit lighter evaluation process, but SD2, there are certain parameters on which they expect that it should be there.